Hi Floss Tube, it's Melissa, Stitching Memories. I'm going to try another stitching tag. I'm still trying to go through and find all of the ones that I have seen that I like and have an interest in doing. And I should have written down the questions and copied links at the time, but I wasn't prepared. And I'm sorry for the reflection in the glasses, but I can't see my screen and the words, no matter how big I make them without them. So maybe I can do it this way. I can't see that way. Okay. This is the cross stitch tag by Stitching May, and I do not know how to put links in here yet. I am so new to FlossTube, YouTube. I thought I was computer literate. There is so much I don't know about these sites, so I apologize in advance that I don't have you linked. As soon as I can figure out how to put the links in, I will go back and do that. So how did I get start cross stitching? I kind of started on this on the last tag. So it would be 14 months ago. I walked into a craft store. I was working at that time on a cross stitch kit of a rose that I had purchased at Michael's, I believe, and was frustrated with it. Had worked on it on and off for close to a year, pretty much all of 2013, and that was really the only activity I was doing other than doctor's visits and dealing with insurance and dealing with physical therapy, and pretty much that was my life. And so I leaned towards that cross stitch piece as just something crafty to do. All of my other hobbies and crafts were in another state, and I didn't have the funds to replace or repurchase the other crafts, so I decided to do a new one. I was welcomed very nicely into the group at that needle workshop, and they were helpful in enabling me to find a pattern that I could be a little bit creative with, as far as by pattern, by floss, by fabric, do something a little bit different. And it was a kit, partially kitted, partially not kitted, so it had everything pretty much but the flosses. And it is a it's not Mill Hill. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to pull it back out again. It's not finished either. It is a girl in a pretty dress holding a wand, and it's a little motivational, more towards probably like a preteen. It just was cute, something for me to try, new fabric, new floss, and to practice with. And shortly after I started that, my niece, I found out my niece was pregnant with twins, and I started just making the baby samplers for the twins, and that just catapulted me into this whole world of cross stitching. But the YouTube FlossTube community is very new to me. I've only found this within the last month and a half, and I'm very glad that I did. Whereas the local needle workshop is fine, but you kind of have the small group that, or the, you know, cliques, and you know, I'm the new kid in town, so so you know, it's fine for me to go to occasionally, but it's not going to be my true community, probably long term. Unfortunate, but let's see, a favorite theme or designer. I don't know enough about all the themes or designers to know if I have a favorite, because everything I have I love, and everything I have I want to do, and I don't have any of the pieces that I have that I don't want. As a matter of fact, I've purchased some twice. So with the small stash that I have, the fact that I've duplicated a few, kind of scary. So I'm organizing, and I am helping another stitcher organize her very large stash. She has enough to open probably 2 needlework shops. Organizing is something that I have some history and background in, just doing for friends, here and there. Never as a business, just something I like to do. But the fact that this is rewarding to me, should my health improve, it might be an avenue I want to go down in the future. And once she allows me to, I hope to be able to show some pictures of what we've done. As far as designers, gosh, I like everybody I've stitched, every one I've bought. I really haven't found one I don't like, so that's hard. What is my fabric of choice? I'm pretty much right now sticking with 28 count even weaves as my primary choice, but I love Aida, and I'm beginning to work with linen, so I won't say that I won't stitch on something. It depends on the pattern and what it, in my mind, lends itself to, and what the designer thought it led to. So, but right now, 28 count's kind of my favorite count, and even weaves, I really don't care if it's Joe Bloomer or Lugana, but I do like the ease of the even weave. A little bit easier for me to not get lost. Do I use a needle threader, or am I a floss flicker? I am a floss flicker because I didn't have a needle threader. I have been recently gifted a needle threader, so if I learn how to use that appropriately, then perhaps that will change. But let's see, what kind of stitch frame do I use? I started out with hoop. I still do things on hoop, and I have a few things on scroll bars, and I have a few things on Q-snaps. I do not have a large stand, or a floor stand, or a lap stand. So the partial lap stand, I guess it's a one-sided stand that I have that I guess could be a tabletop or a lap stand. I'm not really figured out how to work with it real well yet, so mostly I'm a Q-snap. I like that I can control the tension. I can kind of not crease my fabric as much as the hoop, and it's lighter weight for me to hold. So right now that's probably, and I have multiple sizes, and then I just mix and match and make my own size most of the time. How many projects have I finished? Let's see. The twins, birth samplers, a biscornu, a pillow, a Halloween pumpkin. So I'm going to say less than 10. I'll have to pull out the list, but less than 10. How many completed works do I have displayed in my home? None, because my home is one room, and all of the walls are pretty much covered with either a window, a door, or a piece of furniture, or my jewelry. So I really don't have a lot of places for displaying, but I would love to display it all. Do I stitch more for gifts or for myself? So far it's been predominantly for gifts. What is my favorite finish? Okay, so my favorite finish. My favorite piece that I stitched is the baby samplers. I did say baby sampler twice. Because I couldn't make up my mind on which one to do for which kid. When I was going through the ones that I had found on a clearance, and I happened to, for some reason, purchase 2. Now, what is funny about this is I purchased these baby samplers long before I knew that my niece was even thinking about having children. I just purchased them because they were on clearance, and I figured someday I'd find a baby to give them to. Crazy, but it worked out. And in going through them, when my niece announced that she was pregnant, I found that I had purchased 2 of the same one, and they were kits, so they already had the fabric and the floss and everything in them. And of course they were identical, and they were jungle themed. And then I found out through my mother that kind of animals and jungle was what my niece was going with as a decor for her baby's area, so that just made the final decision there. So yeah, that's my favorite finish. What has been my least favorite? Although I absolutely adore my biscorn U, it was the hardest thing for me to do to put that together. My hand strength is not strong enough. One of my best friends wants me to desperately make another one for her, and I am afraid to even try again. I know I can stitch it again, but I don't know if I can put it together. So that's probably my least favorite, just in the unsurety of my physical ability. What do I love about cross stitch? Everything. I love the process of, obtaining the materials. I love the actual process of making X's. It's very therapeutic. My new love is this floss tube community. This is so inspirational for me, and as a new wallflower, it will give me a source of motivation to keep myself out there, if even only through the camera media for right now. What do I hate about cross stitch? The only thing I hate about cross stitch is I can't cross stitch while I walk, because I need to walk a lot, and I wish I could cross stitch while I walked. That's the only thing I hate about it. It's not that portable. So, I can't look down and make X's or I'll trip over my feet. Have I introduced anyone to cross stitch? No. And how do I store my cross stitch floss? I love zipper bags. I love bags of any kind, so floss away bags just seem to be the best source for me. I do have some on bobbins, but I like floss away bags, putting them on a ring. Right now I'm in the process of sorting them, so, things like this. Here's a hanger, and it has multiple rings of, this is pretty much like half of my DMC. So right now, that's kind of how I'm storing my floss. So thank you, Stitching May, for this tag, and I look forward to finding more tags out there so that I can do them, because I like getting to know all of you through them. Any tips or hints you have, please feel free. I love comments. And thanks to all my subscribers and all of you who do this. Have a great day and keep stitching memories.